I wonder who will take the less favorable vocations, like hawkers, for example. Lately, I've seen that it's either the older generations are actually doing the hawkers or foreign talent, foreigners. So I'm wondering, how can we make the less glamorous jobs more attractive to Singaporeans?
It's an extremely important question. Actually, all the questions so far have been very... but it's true. These are very good questions. If you travel to some of the most developed cities in the world, Zurich or San Francisco or Frankfurt or New York, wherever, Tokyo, go to restaurants. If you get a chance, go into a small enterprise. It's very interesting because you find that people wear their blue-collar uniforms with such pride. The waiters are proud about being waiters or waitresses. You can see it just in the way they move around, the way they go about their tasks. And we will not be a truly developed society if people do not respect blue-collar jobs and those who hold those jobs do not carry themselves with pride. We will not be a developed society. And this is a very important challenge for us because we have seen a drift away from, first, the tough manual jobs, second, even from regular service jobs. Restaurants are finding it very hard to attract waiters and waitresses because people don't like to serve. Hotels are finding it very difficult. A whole set of jobs, retail sector, very hard to find people who are willing to be salespersons. We cannot just be a society of insurance agents and real estate agents and bankers and office workers, because the most advanced societies don't run that way. We need to be a society where customers treat blue-collar workers with respect. And that requires some attitudinal changes. A society where a mother-in-law is quite happy when the daughter says that I'm going out with a waiter. That's what it is. Because it's a good job. It pays well, and he's enterprising, and he's going to do well. We've got to be a society which regards the blue-collar worker as core to your workforce, pays them better, respects them, grows them in their careers. You look at Germany. It's a very interesting example. How is it that German companies, most of which are small enterprises, they're not Siemens and Mercedes and so on, the Daimler and so on, they're small enterprises. They're world beaters. Despite competing with much higher costs than the Chinese enterprises, they're still the world beaters, still the leaders. And I've visited many of these small companies, often in small towns. And you walk through on the factory floor and so on, you look around, they're quite ordinary, these are ordinary people, ordinary working class folk. But how come they're world beaters? Because they stay on the job and they just keep improving year after year. The companies treat them well, they invest in them, they send them for training continuously, and they just keep getting better at the job. New technology comes in, they learn how to operate it. Machinery gets more complex, they pick up the skills to operate it. That's how it happens. And they are a middle-class society. People doing blue-collar jobs, but who are middle class. And we have to rediscover that pride in ordinary jobs in Singapore, regardless of our qualifications, for us to be a truly developed society. Because every society needs its waiters, waitresses, retail staff, people who run the hotels, people who do manufacturing, the tradespersons in construction. Every society needs that, the most advanced societies. And we've got to reinstill that pride, and everyone has to play the game. The employers have to play the game. Employees have to regard this as a good job that I want to keep improving on, so that by the time I'm in my late 40s, I've got higher responsibilities, good pay, I've got a good career. And customers have to play their role. Customers have to treat ordinary workers with respect, the same way we treat our parents and grandparents who held the same jobs with respect.
What do you think are some concrete steps to actually help this shift in perspective?
So I think that there are a few ways. First, the question that was asked earlier by someone who spoke about normal technical and so on. I do think that we need to start earlier in school, and not just with normal technical kids, but with everyone, giving them some sense of what real life is like out there, some ability to take attachments. ITE, poly, university, and even secondary school, some chance of knowing what a real job is about, some way of being a mini apprentice, an apprentice for a little bit of time. Not just wait until you finish all your education and then you start looking for a job in the workforce. Getting people excited in jobs earlier on is I think, one of the things we have to place more emphasis on. And one of the things I've noticed is that in Japan, Germany, some other societies, kids who are academically quite strong also like doing this. They don't all want to become bankers. They like the idea of being engineers. They like the idea of doing jobs which are applied. And when you go to top schools, and when I was Minister for Education, I visited top schools in many countries. I was always interested to find that in some of the best schools, they've got laboratories that involve machines. And the kids love it. They love it, getting out of a physics classroom and doing real grimy stuff with oil. And we need more of that in Singapore, where the technical and the applied is not just seen as something that is for those who are not doing well academically. It's for those who are bright.